you? Wonderful to be with you today. And yes, you can see that I'm in a different location. Today, we are having, another session of Let's Get Real with Mona. That's me, Mona Naidu. And I'm not in my usual place, which is my home. I'm at an iconic location. So I'm so excited that you are here with me today, whether you're here live or whether you're watching the replay, because today, I promise you, is going to be phenomenal for you and for me, because I'm doing something that I believe that I've been waiting to do for 53 years, to share with you a piece of iconic history, something that is iconic across the world about the area that I grew up in. And yes, it may have been a couple of kilometers away from here, but the Durban beachfront, well, that is where everyone who grew up in Durban and its surrounding areas, well, this is close to our heart. So yes, today is the last day of October, and this month we have been focusing on abundance. Now, this is not a screensaver behind me. This is real. What you're seeing is the real sea, and I'm going to open the door just now so you can hear the sound of the sea. And what you're seeing behind me is the famous lighthouse right outside the Oyster Box Hotel. Now, if you don't know the Oyster Box Hotel, please go and Google it. And then you'll hear about all the fabulous celebrities and leaders across the world that have come to this specific place. So just to prove to you that this is not a screensaver, hang on and you'll hear the sound. There you go. Can you hear the sea? Well, it's quite overcast today, and the sea is quite, well, she's not so happy today for whatever reason, but you know, when the churning occurs, you know that change is happening. So I'm going to close the door again so that you can actually hear me for the rest of our conversation today. Let me do that quickly. So today's not our average, regular episode of Let's Get Real with Mona. As I said, I'm coming to you from an iconic location. And the question I asked earlier today is, what does your environment reflect to you about abundance? Now, just the hotel that I'm in, just by the way, yesterday, the 30th of October, was my birthday. So my husband, Vis, brought me to this iconic location, iconic hotel, a hotel that is so synonymous with luxury and opulence. And well, he surprised me for my birthday. I thought we were going away somewhere 3 to 4 hours away outside of Durban because we'd come in this direction. And lo and behold, this is where I was brought to. So this is super awesome for me. And just by the way, like I was saying, it has taken me 53 years to get to stay in this hotel. Yes, I've stayed at other hotels across the world. I would even say more opulent than this, but maybe not as iconic as this hotel. Now, why is this so meaningful for me? You see, I grew up in Unit 3, Chatsworth, Durban, which is in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. And for those of you who are watching this and you come from South Africa, you know, I call it a South Africa, an Indian township, because that's what it was in the Indian apartheid times, during the apartheid times, when all the different race groups were segregated. And I guess you heard about this place. This is one of those places that was reserved for those elite people, right? So for me being here, not because over the years I couldn't afford to come here, it was because it was a symbol of me, of somewhere I couldn't go to. So until I've become ready to come into this place, yes, 53 years into my life, then only did the door open for me to come here. And a space was available in this iconic hotel for me to be here. So you may be wondering, why am I telling you about this? Because it is a symbol of my abundance, right? This lighthouse, being in a room, not just being in any room in this hotel, but being in a room that is directly opposite this lighthouse. And if you know me, and if you understand how I look at symbols, and that was the question for last week about what symbols of abundance is around you. For me, I mean, we all know what a lighthouse is. A lighthouse is to warn the ships that are passing by. You know, it's like directing, it's giving guidance to. It's allowing the passers-by in the ships to be safe. So for me, light is the way into prosperity, into abundance, into safety. So here's a lighthouse. And you know what's so amazing? Last night there were just ships. I don't even know where they came from, but there were ships all out there on the ocean. Ships from all different countries, cargo ships. And if you know me and you know how much I like traveling, I'm like, yes, the way is open for me to go into the world. The lighthouse is right here, showing me that my way is open. So what is it for you? What is in your environment that's either reflecting to you something that's blocking your way, or that there's something there that's saying to you, the door is open. The path is open for you to go towards your next level of abundance. Now remember, abundance is unique to each of us, right? So until you can understand what abundance means for you, then you'll understand the science, you'll understand the symbols, you'll look at your environment. I mean, just look at that magnificent sea behind me, right? That's abundance. The water that is there, even though the tides go out at times, but the same amount of water is still in the ocean. And then when the tide comes in, you see all the water coming back. So even though there's this ebb and flow, so too is our lives. There's certain times we may be, having just these extravagant, generous flows of abundance to us. And there's certain times maybe the flow slows down a bit. But it's not for us to judge ourselves about it or to get upset and anxious about that flow. It is to just understand that that flow, that movement, that ebb and flow of our abundance does occur in all circumstances, right? And our environment is giving us messages all the time, right? I'm trying to make sure that I'm not moving around too much so that I don't distort that spectacular image of that lighthouse that you see behind you. Not just an image, but the actual lighthouse. I wish that door would be open to the lighthouse so I could go up into it. Right? And it's so important for you to be aware, for you to be conscious, for you to look around you, that there may be something in your environment that may make you feel maybe a bit poor in a way, maybe make you feel like you don't have. Maybe it might remind you of your past. And for me, Durban holds the image of what the circumstances I grew up in. Durban reminds me of the circumstances and the places that I couldn't go to. And this place is one of those. This place was reserved for people who were not like me. This place was reserved for people who came from a different race group. So I've had to break through that. Even though intellectually I know that I can be here, it has taken 53 years before I can fully accept that I can have this and have it all. And why am I saying this to you? Because I know something's standing in the way of the next level of your abundance, right? And you know it. You're doing all the right things. You are showing up for all the right programs and courses, but you still feel that there's still a ceiling of some sort. I mean, you do know what I'm talking about, right? Remember, I speak from experience. I'm not sharing anything with you, about theory and from a theoretical point of view. This is why I'm standing here today and showing you this lighthouse. And I'm saying to you, it's taken me 53 years to get to be in this spot, inside a room, not just going to the restaurant and standing there and taking Instagram photos, to actually be here for a couple of days, to experience the service, the luxury, the comfort, the attention, the pampering, to feel like I belong, because that's what you want your environment to reflect back to you, right? It's not all about grandeur and opulence and luxury. That's the only thing that reflects our abundance. It's about how we feel where we are. And it's like, I finally come back to Durban to finally understand that I do belong. I do belong in this city. I do belong in this province. I do belong in this country. And that's my true abundance. Being enough. Knowing that I am enough. And right now, my environment is showing me this. And that lighthouse is the symbol of that abundance. That lighthouse and this environment that I'm in, I mean, they could have given us any sea-facing room, but this was the one given to us. So that I could stand here today and I could do my Facebook Live and show you, not from a side angle, not from, a partial view, but full on show you the lighthouse. Because for me, the universe is constantly communicating with us. The universe is constantly telling us where our abundance is, how to align to it. And sometimes to get there, just by the way, it was quite an interesting experience booking this trip. Because when Vis would ask me for dates, I would give him another date, and I didn't know the actual location at the time. So I would give him a date, and then he would come back and like, okay, do you have another date? And I was umming and ahhing and going back and forward, and eventually it's like, which date do you want to really have a magical experience? And I'm like, okay, let's just do it for my birthday. So even coming here, I was looking at other locations, I was looking at other places, but Vis had a specific place in his mind. He knew that a specific environment was going to help me shift something, a ceiling about my abundance. So, how are you feeling right now? Are you paying attention to what could be around you? What is your environment reflecting to you? It may not be immediately in your home, it may be outside of you, it may be on the road, it may be your neighborhood, your suburb. Are you seeing things coming alive and growing and expanding, or are you seeing things dilapidating? Are you seeing your environment full and lush and generous? Or are you seeing it, like all contracted and constricted and, needing some attention, right? So you'd want to go put yourself out there. Even if you can't change everything right now, create the perfect environment for you. So I'm just checking on my time and where I am right now, so I know that I'm not going out of time, because hey, we are really, I'd love to know from you. I'd love to know from you, like, what is it? What is it that you do to understand the signs and symbols from your environment. And how have you been feeling? Have you been in a community where you're feeling a bit tight and squeezed, like as if you're in a little can? And you're ready to spread your wings, like I said to you, a lighthouse, a room which has this lighthouse right in front of it, and then all these ships. I mean, last night, it looked like the ships were all coming over to pick me up and take me off. And I was ready for that, because that's my intention, to travel all over the world, spreading love and light. And I guess this was my sign, my acknowledgement from the universe that the way is open. And yes, if I'm going to be going by ship, well, then I'll do that too. But that light behind me, that is the symbol of abundance, and it's for you too. All you have to do is tap into it. So I just earlier today, I had a beautiful spa experience, absolutely magnificent. And if you are in South Africa and you haven't stayed at the Oyster Box, well, I would encourage you to come over. And please, aren't paying me to say any of this. And if you are from abroad, please do come over, right? Because I'm an ambassador of South Africa. Vis, my husband's an ambassador. We tell you about all the amazing things that go on in our country and around the world too. So if you'd love to shift what's happening in your life right now, even if it feels good, there's another level. Because until you're growing, until you choose to understand that you can't stay in one grade your whole life, because you'll be the oldest kid in that grade, right? You want to be moving to your next level, because what happens when you move to the next level? You allow somebody else to move up to the level that you were at. And as you move, then everybody else gets to move a level up. And that's how we will eventually address this whole situation of lack and scarcity in the world. Yes, it is that simple, but it starts with you. So I'd love to hear from you. How's it going in your environment? What have you picked up? What can you see around you? Are people supportive? Is there plenty around you? Are people kind and generous? Is your environment showing you love in all its forms? Can you see possibility? Can you see a bright future for yourself and everyone around you? Because that's what you want your environment to be reflecting to you. And if it isn't, then ask where you should be going next. What's your next step? Where is your abundance waiting for you? So I'm going to be going off. And if you know me, I love popcorn and I love movies. So this hotel has its own private cinema. And yes, they have movies, I think about 4 times per day. And they give you complimentary popcorn. So Vis doesn't have to make popcorn today, because almost every Friday he's going to make me popcorn for our movie night at home. So we get complimentary popcorn, and you get some sweets and snacks with it as well. And yes, Vis has arranged milkshakes for today as well, because that's what I love having with my popcorn. And that's what I'm going to be doing later today. So I'm going to be heading off to that, but I'd love to hear what resonated with you today. I'd love to hear what the lighthouse actually means and represents for you, because maybe you didn't even know that there's a way waiting to open up for you. And maybe you can feel the message and feel the energy that's coming through the lighthouse for you today. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I'd love to hear what resonated with you today. And I'd love to hear what you think about this spectacular location. Like I said, if you've been here, let me know and how your experience has been. And if you haven't, go on to Google, check it out, check the website, check about, read up about all the different people that have been here and what this actually means to the people of Durban and whoever's visited here. So until next time, ciao for now, and have a magical, magical day further.